Welcome to my channel. HD Rare Coins 111. In this video I tell you about the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. The year 2000 was a milestone in American history, not just because of the technological advances and the cultural shifts that were sweeping the world, but also because it marked a significant year in the world of coinage. One particular coin from that year has intrigued collectors, historians, and numismatists alike: the 2000 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Let's take a deep dive into the story behind this small but significant piece of American history. To truly appreciate the value of the 2000 Lincoln penny, we first need to understand the historical context of the penny itself. The U.S. 1-cent coin has been in circulation since 1793, and over the centuries, it has undergone various changes in design, material, and production. But the story of the Lincoln penny is particularly fascinating. The Lincoln cent, featuring the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the penny featured a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, a design that would remain unchanged for nearly 50 years. This iconic, wheat penny, was produced from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by a new reverse design that depicted the Lincoln Memorial, which itself was also designed by Brenner. The Lincoln Memorial reverse would stay in circulation until 2008, but in 2000, the U.S. Mint decided to shake things up with a special design, a move that would lead to the creation of the so-called 2000 Lincoln penny. In 2000, to mark the beginning of the new millennium, the U.S. Mint issued a special penny featuring a new reverse design to commemorate Lincoln's 100th anniversary of his death. This was a significant departure from the regular design and captured the public's attention. The reverse of the 2000 penny, which was minted for a limited time, featured a unique image of the Union Shield, a symbol of strength and protection that has long been associated with the United States. The design was created by U.S. Mint engraver John Flanagan, and it was an instant hit. The Union Shield was meant to symbolize both the nation's strength and its unity, with 13 stripes representing the original 13 colonies and a crest at the top representing the U.S. motto, E pluribus unum, out of many one. This new design was intended to be a reflection of the nation's resolve at the turn of the millennium, a nation standing strong, united, and ready for the future. But there's more to this penny than just its design. The coin is also known for the fact that it was minted in significant quantities at the time, yet some subtle errors and unique characteristics would make certain versions of the 2000 Lincoln penny stand out. These small differences are what make the 2000 penny a hot item in the coin collecting world. When a coin is issued in a large mintage, as the 2000 Lincoln penny was, there can often be a variety of subtle differences due to variations in minting processes, die use, and even production errors. For some collectors, these small anomalies are the key to finding rare and valuable pieces. But what makes the 2000 penny truly captivating to collectors is the fact that some special minting errors have been identified over the years. One of the most sought-after varieties is the 2000 close AM penny. Most 2000 pennies feature the letters A and M in America on the reverse, positioned far apart. However, on certain coins, these letters are closer together, creating a noticeable variation. This slight but distinct difference has sent collectors into a frenzy, as the close AM penny is rarer than its more common counterpart, the far AM variety. Collectors have long known that when it comes to coins, small errors can translate to big dollars. The close AM 2000 penny has become one of the most coveted varieties in recent years, with examples fetching thousands of dollars at auction. But how much are they actually worth? And why have some versions of the 2000 Lincoln penny become so valuable? Let's take a moment to examine the rarity and appeal of these particular varieties. The close AM variety is extremely hard to come by, with only a few examples believed to have made it out of the mint. These rare versions are the result of a die error, where the design elements for the reverse were improperly spaced, and while many of these coins were caught during the minting process and either destroyed or recast, A handful managed to slip through the cracks and enter circulation. One of the most famous sales of a 2000 close AM penny occurred in 2007 when a single coin sold for over $25,000. And it wasn't just any penny, it was in near mid condition, showing only the slightest wear. When you have a rare coin in excellent condition, the value increases exponentially. The fact that a 2000 close AM penny could fetch such a hefty price shows just how desirable these errors are to collectors. But even if you don't happen to own one of these rare close AM coins, don't worry. The standard 2000 Lincoln penny is still a great piece for any collector's portfolio. The value of a typical 2000 penny is still quite stable in the market, and while it's not going to make you rich overnight, its status as a part of the 21st century coinage era and its historical significance give it an appeal that many people find attractive. Still, the true allure lies in the variations and the errors that make each coin unique. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. Whether it's the close AM error or another small variation, the 2000 Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of change. It's a connection to the nation's history, a representation of its people, and a symbol of the unyielding pursuit of perfection in a world that is anything but perfect. But what makes this particular penny so valuable? To understand this, we have to look beyond just its rarity. In the world of coin collecting, it's not just about finding a coin from a particular year. It's about understanding its history, the conditions under which it was minted, and the errors that might make it a truly exceptional piece. The most expensive versions of the 2000 penny, those with the close AM variety, can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. While most regular 2000 pennies are worth only a few cents, a close AM coin in excellent condition could see a price tag upwards of $30,000. Yes, you heard that right. A small, unassuming penny could be worth up to $30,000, depending on the condition, rarity, and demand from collectors. Now, imagine you're going through a box of pennies, just like the millions of others that have been circulated over the years. It's a seemingly mundane task, but then you find a 2000 penny with the close AM error. You've just discovered a treasure, a hidden gem among the millions of ordinary coins. What makes the 2000 Lincoln penny so remarkable is not just the potential for it to be worth thousands of dollars, but the journey it represents. It's a small object, but it carries with it the weight of history, of people who collected it, admired it, and passed it along, generation after generation. And for those who are lucky enough to find the right one, it's a piece of history that can change lives. So, the next time you're sifting through a jar of coins, keep an eye out for that little penny from the year 2000. It might just be the find of a lifetime. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, few coins manage to stand out in the way the Lincoln 1-cent penny does. Whether it's the iconic wheat design that debuted over a century ago, or the modern shield reverse that's captured the spirit of the 21st century, the Lincoln penny has earned its place in history as one of America's most beloved coins. But today, we're going to talk about a particular penny, one from the year 2015, that has captivated collectors and has an unexpected story to tell. You might be thinking, how can a 2015 penny be so special? After all, we're talking about a coin that has been in circulation for nearly a decade, right? Well, you're about to find out just how much this seemingly ordinary penny can be worth, as it could fetch a jaw-dropping $15,000 or more in the right circumstances. But before we get into the staggering value of the 2015 Lincoln penny, let's start with a little history. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The original design featured a bust of Lincoln on the front, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. It was a tribute to the American spirit of progress and the memory of one of the nation's most beloved presidents. From that point on, the Lincoln penny would become one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. But the coin would see significant design changes over the years. In 1959, the U.S. Mint decided to replace the wheat stalks on the reverse with an image of the Lincoln Memorial to honor Lincoln's legacy. This design remained in use for nearly 5 decades, until it was replaced in 2009 with the shield reverse that we see today. The shield design was meant to symbolize strength, unity, and the nation's resolve to continue forward into the future. The obverse of the coin, however, would remain unchanged, continuing to feature Lincoln's profile. This brings us to 2015. By this point, the Lincoln penny had undergone a remarkable transformation, both in design and in its role in American culture. However, the penny minted in 2015 might seem like just another standard issue at first glance. But a closer look reveals that the 2015 penny is far more significant than it may seem at first. The coin's design and subtle differences in its minting process, as well as some fascinating collector details, make it a coin worthy of closer inspection. The 2015 Lincoln 1-cent coin, like its predecessors, featured the Union Shield design on the reverse. The Union Shield, which had first appeared in 2010, depicted 13 vertical stripes, representing the 13 original colonies, and a crest at the top with the motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the United States. The shield design was meant to embody the strength and resilience of the nation. On the obverse, as always, is the well-known bust of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. The 2015 version, however, carries with it a sense of change and transition. The minting of pennies in the United States had begun to decrease over the years as the cost of production outpaced the coin's face value. This led to questions about the future of the penny, and whether the U.S. Mint would eventually discontinue it. Despite these challenges, the 2015 penny remained a part of American currency, and its production was notable for several reasons. The mintages of the 2015 Lincoln penny were relatively high, with billions of these coins produced at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. This made the 2015 penny, in its standard form, relatively common. However, as with many coins, it is not the sheer number of coins produced that defines their value. It's the rare occurrences, the errors, and the unique aspects that make certain coins so valuable. And this is where the 2015 penny starts to show its true potential. In terms of design, the 2015 penny didn't see any major changes, but there were some subtle features that made this year's penny stand out to collectors. For example, the quality of the coin's strike was top-notch, thanks to advanced minting technology, which made the 2015 pennies particularly attractive in higher grades. Collectors who specialized in finding well-struck examples of these coins were quick to realize that 2015 pennies, in particular, had a higher chance of being in pristine, uncirculated condition. However, the most intriguing aspect of the 2015 Lincoln penny lies in the potential errors and varieties that were minted that year. As many experienced coin collectors know, minting errors can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a valuable treasure. The 2015 penny is no exception. One of the most famous types of errors in the 2015 penny is the doubled die error. This occurs when the design is struck onto the coin multiple times, causing the image to appear doubled. In the case of the 2015 Lincoln penny, the doubling was often visible on the date and the word Liberty on the obverse. This error, though not extremely common, is a collector's dream because it creates a coin that is rare, unique, and highly sought after. Another error that collectors have found in the 2015 pennies are those that have been struck off-center, giving them an unusual appearance. These off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a misaligned design. These errors can add tremendous value to a coin, especially if the misalignment is severe. A well-known off-center strike from 2015 could be worth several $100s, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's overall condition. Then, there's the issue of the coin's condition. Like all coins, the value of the 2015 penny increases exponentially with its quality. Most pennies from this year were mass-produced, and many of them have been heavily circulated, which means that finding a 2015 penny in uncirculated condition is relatively rare. A mint-state coin, which shows no signs of wear or tarnish, could be worth significantly more than one that has seen years of circulation. But what really pushes the 2015 Lincoln penny into a class of its own are certain specific errors that have come to light over the years. Certain variations in the minting process, like die cracks, repunched mint marks, and other minor details, have created what some call varieties. These varieties are crucial in numismatics because they are so rare, and they often make a single coin worth far more than its standard face value. The 2015 penny, with its subtle imperfections and variations, has proven to be an excellent source of these rare varieties. Now, the most exciting part: how much is the 2015 Lincoln penny actually worth? This is where the coin takes on its most fascinating and surprising quality. While most 2015 pennies are worth only 1 cent, there are certain varieties, especially those with the double die errors or off-center strikes, that can sell for hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars at auction. A well-preserved 2015 penny with a major error can fetch as much as $15,000 in the right market conditions. That's right. This small, seemingly insignificant penny could be worth thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and any rare errors it may have. In fact, some specific 2015 Lincoln pennies with the double die error or with perfect condition have been known to fetch upwards of $15,000 in rare coin auctions. Imagine finding one of these pennies in your pocket change, or tucked away in a jar of old coins. The possibilities are endless when it comes to coin collecting, and in the case of the 2015 Lincoln penny, the unexpected value is something that many collectors have come to treasure. So, the next time you're flipping through a jar of coins or digging through a collection of loose change, don't overlook those 2015 pennies. They may look like ordinary coins at first, but there's a good chance that some of them could be worth far more than you think. Whether it's an rare variety or just a pristine, uncirculated coin, the 2015 Lincoln penny is a reminder that, in the world of numismatics, there's always more to a coin than meets the eye. Remember, it's not always the rarest coins that are the most valuable. It's often the ones that tell a story and hold a unique, hidden detail that makes them truly special. And in the case of the 2015 Lincoln penny, that story is one of discovery, rarity, and value that can surprise even the most seasoned collectors. So, keep your eyes peeled. The next $15,000 penny might just be hiding in plain sight. Top 3. The United States Lincoln 1-cent penny has been in circulation for over a century, evolving both in design and significance. Every year, these pennies hold a story, a piece of American history, and occasionally, a surprise hidden within the details. Today, we're going to dive into one specific penny, the 1996 Lincoln 1-cent, an often overlooked coin that has an extraordinary value under the right circumstances. If you're a collector, or even someone with a casual interest in coins, you've probably encountered a lot of pennies in your lifetime. But you might not realize that certain pennies, like the 1996 Lincoln cent, can fetch some jaw-dropping amounts of money, sometimes even more than $36,000. Let's explore why this particular coin is so sought after and what makes it truly special. First, let's rewind and take a look at the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, featured the president's profile on the obverse, the front side, and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. This wheat penny remained in circulation until 1959, when the U.S. Mint changed the reverse design to honor the Lincoln Memorial, which was meant to symbolize Lincoln's legacy and the United States' national pride. In 2009, the design would shift again, and we would see the introduction of the modern shield reverse, symbolizing the strength and unity of the nation. But throughout all these design changes, one thing remained constant: the obverse of the Lincoln penny, the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, has stayed largely the same since Brenner's original design was minted in 1909. This brings us to 1996. By this time, the Lincoln cent had undergone almost 90 years of history. In 1996, the coin still featured the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and the familiar image of Lincoln on the obverse. On its face, the 1996 penny seemed like a typical piece of currency, small, copper-plated, and unassuming. But as collectors know, it's not always about the obvious. Sometimes, the value of a coin lies in its subtle details or, as is often the case with pennies like this one, in its rarity and condition. The 1996 Lincoln penny was produced in large quantities, with billions of them struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Like most pennies from this era, they were made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, which was a shift from the earlier bronze composition of the Lincoln cents. Although the 1996 penny was not particularly rare in terms of overall production numbers, certain factors have made this coin stand out in the world of numismatics. These factors include its minting process, specific era varieties, and the general condition of the coin. One of the key reasons the 1996 penny is so important to collectors today is because it's part of a transitional era in American coinage. In the years following 1996, the cost of producing pennies was steadily increasing, while the value of the penny itself remained at 1 cent. This caused many collectors to begin paying closer attention to the 1996 and earlier pennies, as they were some of the last coins made when production costs had not yet reached their peak. So, while the average 1996 penny may not immediately stand out from the rest, it was still part of a key period in U.S. mint history. However, it's not just the coin's historical importance that makes it valuable, it's the eras and variety types that make the 1996 Lincoln penny so special. Some of the most highly sought-after versions of the 1996 penny are those that contain minting errors. The U.S. Mint, with all its advanced technology and quality control, still occasionally makes mistakes during the production process. These errors, often minute in nature, can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare collectible. The 1996 penny, like many coins of its era, has its share of errors that have made it one of the more fascinating pennies to search for. One of the most notable errors in the 1996 penny is the double die variety. This error occurs when a coin's design is struck twice, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the image. In the case of the 1996 penny, the double die can often be seen on the date and the word Liberty on the obverse. These double die pennies are highly desirable among collectors because they are so rare. They are often found in higher grades, which only adds to their value. A 1996 penny with a double die error, depending on the degree of doubling, can fetch anywhere from several hundred to a few $1,000s. Another popular error for the 1996 penny is the repunched mintmark variety. This occurs when the mintmark on the coin, which indicates where the coin was minted, in this case, either Philadelphia or Denver, is struck more than once. The result is a mintmark that looks faint or double-printed. For the 1996 penny, these repunched mintmark errors are particularly exciting for collectors because they are relatively rare and can increase the value of the coin significantly. Off-center strikes are also another common error associated with the 1996 penny. These coins occur when the blank planchet, the metal disc that becomes the penny, is not properly aligned during the minting process. As a result, the coin's design is off-center, and parts of the image are cut off. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, these coins can be quite valuable. A 1996 penny with an extreme off-center strike can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. It's important to note that the 1996 penny, like many coins of its time, also saw a variety of striking qualities. The Philadelphia Mint, for example, produced large numbers of these coins, but some were struck with more clarity and precision than others. Collectors often seek out well-struck examples of the 1996 penny, as these coins are in higher demand and can sell for more than the average circulated coin. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1996 penny. You might be wondering, how much could a single penny from 1996 really be worth? The truth is, the value of the 1996 penny depends on several factors: its condition, any errors or varieties, and its rarity. The typical 1996 penny in average circulated condition is still worth just 1 cent. But as is often the case in the world of numismatics, certain variations and rare qualities can dramatically increase a coin's value. For example, a regular 1996 penny in mint state condition, meaning it has no wear or damage, could be worth $1 or $2, maybe a bit more if it's exceptionally well struck. But the true excitement comes from finding one of the error varieties. A 1996 penny with a double die error, especially one that is in high grade, could fetch between $500 and $5,000 at auction, depending on the degree of the error and the demand at the time. But what if I told you that there are some 1996 pennies worth even more? Yes, there are examples of this coin, especially ones with rare minting errors like a severe off-center strike or the most extreme double-die varieties, that have sold for as much as $36,000 at public auction. That's right. What was once just a penny in your pocket could become a $36,000 treasure. In the right market, a 1996 penny with significant errors can be one of the most valuable finds in a collector's arsenal. Imagine sifting through a jar of old coins or going through your pocket change and discovering a 1996 Lincoln penny that's been struck with a double die or has an unusual mintmark error. That's the thrill of coin collecting, the thrill of finding something unexpected, something rare, and something worth far more than its face value. So, the next time you come across a 1996 penny, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Take a closer look. Check for errors, examine its condition, and see if it has any unique qualities that make it stand out from the rest. That simple penny could be worth far more than you ever thought possible. And now, as we've seen, that hidden treasure, once a humble penny, can reach incredible heights of value. A 1996 Lincoln penny, in the right condition and with the right error, could be worth a staggering $36,000. The next time you encounter one, you just might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Top 4. When it comes to American coinage, the Lincoln 1-cent penny holds a place of special significance. It's a coin that millions of people encounter on a daily basis, often taken for granted as just another piece of pocket change. Yet, beneath the surface of the simple penny lies a fascinating history and a world of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Today, we're going to dive deep into one particular penny, the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent, that, while seemingly ordinary, is capable of surprising even the most seasoned numismatists. By the end of this video, we'll reveal a shocking fact about the 1988 penny's potential value, one that could leave you speechless. $65,000. To understand why the 1988 Lincoln penny has become so valuable, we first need to take a look at the history of the coin. The Lincoln 1-cent penny, first introduced in 1909, was created to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. The original design by sculptor Victor David Brenner featured the likeness of Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. This wheat penny would be minted until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, which we're still familiar with today. The penny is no stranger to change. In 2009, a commemorative series of pennies was issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, marking another significant shift in the coin's history. But the year 1988, though less eventful in terms of design changes, still represents a period in American numismatics when the penny was in the midst of transition. At this point, the penny had been minted with the Lincoln Memorial reverse design for nearly 30 years. But even within this consistent design, there were nuances, small details in the minting process, variations in the coins, and, as we'll see, certain rare versions of the 1988 penny that would go on to change the world of coin collecting forever. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, just like any other year. But what sets the 1988 penny apart from so many others is the potential for rare errors and unique varieties. And to fully appreciate why these pennies have become so valuable to collectors, we need to look at the minting process of that year. In the late 1980s, the U.S. Mint was still grappling with issues of efficiency and cost-effectiveness, as it always had. The penny, for all its symbolic importance, had become increasingly expensive to produce due to inflation and the rising cost of metals. By 1988, the composition of the penny had been standardized at 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, an alloy that was cheaper to produce than the earlier bronze composition. The mint's machinery had also improved, with advances in the technology used to strike coins. However, even the most modern equipment couldn't entirely prevent errors from occurring. These errors, sometimes slight and sometimes glaring, have become a gold mine for collectors. And it's these very errors that make the 1988 Lincoln penny so exciting to the coin collecting world. The design of the 1988 Lincoln penny was the same as it had been since 1959, featuring the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the reverse of the coin showed the famous Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., with the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum and United States of America surrounding it. The coin's obverse featured a left-facing bust of Lincoln, his hair parted and his gaze serious, a solemn reflection of the 16th president's legacy. Now, let's focus on some of the specifics of the 1988 penny. Most of the pennies minted that year were regular coins, produced in massive quantities at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver. However, just as in any minting process, some coins turned out to be far rarer than others. The value of a coin is often determined by its rarity, but it's not just rarity that makes the 1988 penny unique, it's also the subtle variations and errors that make it so attractive to collectors. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of the 1988 Lincoln penny is the range of minting errors and varieties that have been discovered over the years. For instance, one of the most sought-after varieties of the 1988 penny is the double die penny. A double die error occurs when a coin's design is struck more than once, causing the image to appear double or blurred. This error is especially noticeable on the date and the word, Liberty, on the obverse of the coin. Coins with this error, especially in high-grade condition, are highly prized by collectors because they are so rare. The 1988 double die penny, in particular, can fetch anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on its grade and the severity of the doubling. Another common error with the 1988 penny is the repunched mint mark. The mint mark on a coin indicates where it was minted. In the case of the 1988 penny, a D mint mark indicates the coin was minted in Denver, while a lack of a mint mark indicates it was struck in Philadelphia. However, some 1988 pennies feature a repunched mint mark, meaning that the mint mark was struck more than once, creating a blurry or double image of the D on the coin. This type of error is particularly appealing to collectors because it represents a flaw in the minting process and is much rarer than a regular 1988 penny. But it doesn't end there. Some 1988 pennies also feature the famous off-center strike. An off-center strike happens when a coin is not aligned properly during the minting process. As a result, part of the design is cut off, giving the coin a unique, lopsided appearance. These off-center errors can be subtle, with only a slight portion of the coin missing, or more dramatic, with large chunks of the design absent. The more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin can become. A 1988 penny with a severe off-center strike could be worth a significant amount, sometimes even reaching several $1,000s. One of the rarest errors associated with the 1988 penny is the lamination error. Lamination errors occur when the metal layers in the coin do not bond properly during the minting process, causing the surface of the coin to peel or flake off. This gives the coin a unique, distressed appearance, and is another error that collectors eagerly seek out. These types of pennies are prized for their rarity and distinctive look, which sets them apart from regular, circulated coins. Now, let's talk about the real value of the 1988 Lincoln penny. Most of the 1988 pennies that are found today are worth just 1 cent, if they're worn and circulated. But when you factor in those rare minting errors, the value of the 1988 penny can skyrocket. For a typical 1988 penny in high-grade condition, let's say, one that has been well preserved in mint state, you might expect to see values range from $1 to $5. These aren't rare by any means, but they're still more valuable than the average penny you'd find in your pocket change. But when you introduce a major error, the value of the coin takes a dramatic leap. A 1988 penny with a double die error in mint state could fetch anywhere from $500 to $10,000, depending on the severity of the error and the overall condition of the coin. Repunched mint mark errors are also highly desirable and can bring in several $100s, with extreme cases reaching into the thousands. Now, here's the big reveal. A 1988 Lincoln penny that combines multiple rare features, a high-grade coin with a significant minting error like a double die, off-center strike, or lamination error, has been known to sell for as much as $65,000 in the right market. That's right, a penny that was once worth just 1 cent could, in the right circumstances, be worth tens of thousands of dollars. The sheer rarity of these rare varieties, combined with the overall demand from collectors, creates a scenario where the value of a single 1988 penny can reach astronomical heights. Imagine finding one of these pennies tucked away in a jar of loose change or spotting one in a coin collection you've inherited. With the right eyes and a little luck, you could be holding a coin worth far more than you ever expected. In the world of numismatics, sometimes the most unassuming coins have the greatest potential for value. The 1988 Lincoln 1-cent penny is a perfect example of this. While the majority of these pennies are not worth more than their face value, certain rare errors and varieties have made them incredibly valuable. If you have a 1988 penny in your collection, or if you happen to come across one in your spare change, don't dismiss it too quickly, because that coin could very well be worth far more than you ever imagined.